to my channel. I'm Dawn the Reclusive Crafter, and we've got another No Waste Wednesday, and today I am working with the scrappy bits left over from the Winter Wonderland that I've just finished and put the video up for. If you haven't already seen that, pop along and have a look at it. It's a beautiful journal. I think you'll like it, and I'm going to be playing today with some of the bits and pieces that were left over from that, and I thought rather than get into journal cards and tags and all that sort of thing, I thought Christmas is coming up, and what better than to use some of this Christmassy stuff or Winter Wonderland stuff for a Christmas card. So I have dug out of my stash a beautiful piece of blue cardstock, which I folded down into A5 size, and I'm going to utilise this to make a Christmas card. And I thought what I would start with for the base is a piece of the digital papers from the collection. It's not quite wide enough, but I've already thought that through, and I thought what I could do, I've got these, I don't know if they show very well on the camera, but these are really lovely holographic sparkles, and I think I would like to put one of those down that side there, because it's Christmas. You can't have Christmas without sparkles. That's the rules. And then this piece, which is a bit of the other digital, I'm going to layer over the top like that. So that's, I think we're going to have that coming across there like so. I'm just going to allow for a little bit of a gap on the side, and then I'm going to have one of these little strips coming down there. And then we just need to think about what we're doing with the rest of it. Now, I had dug out, where has it gone? There it is. I had dug out a napkin, and the napkin has, you can only very faintly see it, but there's a little house in the background there, and there's a little family of snowmen there. And I thought mayhaps I might just be able to get that on there with it being a snow scene. So I'm going to have a go at that. I've no idea if this is going to work, folks, so only time will tell. So I'm going to make a start on it, and we'll see how we get on. I hope you're all doing really well. We've made it to Wednesday. Wednesday, apart from the weekends, is my favourite day of the week because it's getting close to the weekend. I just want to trim this up a little bit. I've just noticed there is a little bit of a snag on that card, and I saw it. Oh, there it is there. I'm just going to take that little bit off there to make it nice and neat, and then we're going to stick this down. I'm hoping today won't be an awfully long video, because you've all been very patient with me and spent some time on my Winter Wonderland video, which I was really pleased with. Thank you so much for your support with that. If you're seeing my channel for the first time, do pop along and have looks at some of my other videos and see what you think. Leave some comments, let me have some suggestions, and let me know honestly what you think of my work and what you'd like to see me do. That would be brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to pop this relatively close to the edge there, because I want to give myself enough room to put that strip down there. I'm just wondering if perhaps I should have edged that with some blue distress ink, but I'm not sure. It's too late now, it's down, so we'll just have to go with the flow. That will do. Right then, so that's the first piece down, folks. Ha, looking good so far. Right then, and this piece is just going to sit over the top but not come all the way down. So let's see how we get on with that bit. And this was a bit I just literally cut off, and I'm just utilising it exactly as it was cut, really. I've not done anything special with it. This was exactly how the scrap was in the journal, or rather was cut away from the journal, so I can't even remember, if I'm completely honest, why I cut it like that. Who knows? But there you go. I've got this odd shaped little piece, and now I'm going to use it for something else. And we're going to pop that on there, like that. I'm not going to lie, I had just trimmed up this side here, just so that they ended up being the same width. Actually, I think it was that side I trimmed up. I'm telling you fibs again. Right then, so that's the base of it down. So now for the exciting bit. I want to now, where's my little snowdy men? I've got a little water pen here. Just want to get the water to start coming out. There we go. Okay, and I just want to, actually I'm going to use that one because this one's not creased. What do I want to, oh, that one's got a hole in it, so I don't want to use that. So I don't know if any of you have used napkins before for your craft, but if you just take the water pen just round the section that you want to use. Actually, I think I'm going to come along there, like that. Okay, exciting times. And then this should, in theory, just pull away on the section that you want to use. I love it when a plan comes together. There we go, look. You just pull that away and it leaves you a nice tatty edge, but that tatty edge then blends really well into whatever it is you're sticking it on. How clever is that? Well, you might think it's clever once it's done. So let's have a look, see. And then to actually put it on here, now then what I haven't done is prepared myself with a bit of transparency. I'm going to grab a little bit of transparent, and you'll understand why in a moment. So this, I want to lay it down about there, I think. And I'm going to use my Yoo-hoo stick, and we're going to come in, try and keep the glue roughly where your design is. So we're going to start there and come down there and come across there. Make sure you use a reasonable amount of glue, and then it kind of comes up there-ish, I think. So we shall see. Best laid plans and all. This might go completely wrong, but we can but try. And then I'm just going to lay this down where I want it, which will be, I think, probably about there. I want to try and get it down without creasing it too much. I don't mind a little bit of creasing. I've missed a bit there. Missed his hat. Let's shove him down there. Oops. So, how's that? Are we there? We've got everything stuck down. Nearly. There we go. I think we're about there. And then what you do, she says, famous last words, we place the acetate, or if you haven't got acetate, you can use, what's the word, cling film, and then just with a bone folder, gently just rub over your design. And if you think about it, these stickers that you can get, the rub-on stickers, if you think about this in the same way as a rub-on sticker, it's pretty much the same technique, but you're doing it with a piece of napkin instead of a sticker. And just keep rubbing it just for a little while, just until you feel that the napkin has secured itself nicely to the base that you're working with. Okay, I'm just going to pull that up and have a look at it. There we go. Now, if you have a look at that, how fantastic is that? You can't hardly see where the edge of the napkin is at all, which is marvellous. Love this technique. And I have to say, a big shout out to Kerry Griffiths, who I saw actually use this technique for the first time. I have used napkins before, but I've just always normally just stuck them down. But using this technique where you use the cellophane and the bone folder just to rub the design almost into the picture there. I mean, look at that. I think that's so clever. So that's that bit done. Love that. That glue needs to go off a little bit. That still needs to set a wee bit. Okay, and then I want to come down here with one of these. I can get rid of that cellophane now because I don't need that. Okay, then this piece here, I want to put down the edge there. That's that one done. Okay, that's that little bit done. So I've got my Christmas sparkle, I've got my snowman, I've got my Christmas house at the back there, and what I also want to do, I want a label. Now there's red in their scarves, so I could get away with actually using a red label. I wasn't sure about using a red label when I started this, because with the designs all being blue, I thought maybe a red label might be a bit too standoutish, but actually with those little snowmen wearing those red scarves, that lends itself beautifully to me being able to use one of these red labels, I think. So I'm going to have a look and see what it looks like, but I am going to back it with some glitter card. Of course I am. Where's my little scissors on? Because they're a bit bulky to use for that. I'm just going to trim these round. Just get those edges nicely trimmed off. I sort of prepared roughly what I wanted to do here, but I didn't pull it all together because I wasn't 100% sure how it would actually turn out. And then I thought we could have that sort of there. What are we thinking? And then I wonder if I can find, oh, that looks a nice little piece there. Let me, again, waste not, want not. This was what I was using in the journal, and this was just an offcut. So I'm going to cut that down there, and I'm going to cut that up there. How does that look? Does that look better with the backing? I ask myself. Yes, I believe it does. We do like the sparkle. We love a little bit of sparkle. I want to clip off those little corners just to give them a nice little rounded edge. That's that one, and I want to now put that on there. That works rather nicely. Smashing. going to pop a wee bit of glue on there. My bottle's getting a little bit on the empty side. I have just bought some more, so oh, can't get this up. Come on. There we go. I'm going to glue that down there. Lovely. And I have found that the Fabri-Tac glue works so much better on glitter card. The art glitter glue doesn't want to stick on art glitter card for some reason. There we go, that's that one. And now maybe have that there. Do we think? Do I need a bit more embellishment on there? I don't rightly know. Let's have a look, see. Would that be too much if I put another bit of that there, do you think? Yeah, I think it probably would be. I think it probably would be, yeah. Oh, don't stick, don't stick, don't stick, don't stick. There we go. Yeah, I don't like that, so we're not going to put any more of that there. I think what I might do is, maybe not, actually, I was going to say round the corners, but I don't think I'll do that either. Let me stick this down before I change my mind. Stick that down there. Lovely glue strand. Pop that, I think, there. Love that. Does it want to be a bit higher? No, I quite like that there. Okay. And then, what else have we got? We had a few little bits here. Where has it gone? I had, that's too big. There he is, little squidgy. I wonder, do I want to put a little squidge in? I don't think so, do you? No, I don't think he really, as much as I'd love to. I really don't know that he's going to, oh, would he work there? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be happy with that as it stands there. So that will be the outside of the card. There's part of me feeling like it needs a little bit more. I don't know. Put a comment in the comments, guys, and let me know what you think, because I can always add bits to it later. Maybe I want a little bit of sparkle. Maybe that's what I want. I think I do. I think I want a little bit of sparkly stuff around here, which I have got. Now then, let me just stretch up and get some of this lovely stuff here. This, I've had this for years and years and years. It's called Crystal Glitter, and it's very, very pretty, very easy to apply. I tend to mix it in with glues, but I tried it the other day just by literally highlighting a few bits that I had when I was making a different Christmas card for somebody, and it just, can you see that? It just adds a little bit of glitter on, and I think that looks gorgeous. So I think I might get away with this. I just feel it needed a little bit of something pizzazzy for Christmas. So I'm just going to highlight what would be snow down here. We can be as liberal as we want to be. There we go. Okay. I like that. And I'm going to just highlight. I'm just going to put a little bit of highlight just on what is the snow of the house here. I've got a little bit of sparkle there. And I'm just going to pop a little bit more on there, like that. And then a little bit on there. How fab is that? I love a bit of sparkle at Christmas. There we go. That's better. I'm happier with that now. Good. I'm going to pop a little bit along here where that snow line is. I don't want to go over the top, but I just want to accent some little bits and pieces. Nice. Maybe a little bit on her hat. A little bit there, a little bit on the kiddies' hats. I don't want to do too much, she says, and then just throw it everywhere. Okay, a little bit on the kiddies' hats. There we go. And a little bit on Dad's hat, I think, just there, where that snow's laying. Maybe just the tiniest little bit on his scarf. And then I promise that'll be it. Oh, maybe a little bit on hers. Oh, there we go. Love it. There we go. That's super. So I need to wash my brush after we finished here, if I can find the lid for it. Let me just pop that on there. So that needs washing, I mustn't forget. Put that in my clean up pile down there. Let me pop that on there. So that's the front of the card. So we've got lovely Christmas sparkle. We've got a nice Christmas magic label. We've got a little snowman that was a napkin, and you can still see the design through the snowman, which I quite like. And then for the centre, I'm going to have to be careful now because that needs to dry off a little bit first of all. For the centre, I thought I've got lots and lots of Christmassy labels, and they're quite large Christmas labels. These things, and I thought I would cut something like that out and pop it inside. But I think what I would like, I'm going to have to give this a bit more thought. I think I should have waited before I did that because I'm going to have to wait for that to dry now. It's a bit of a nuisance. So I'm going to dry this off and then I'm going to come back, so bear with me, guys. Okay, and I'm back. So I've dried this all off, so it's all dry. I'm going to have to put it somewhere to flatten it out when it's all done. And what I've also done is I've just cut a little bit of card big enough for the centre piece here. And I've put a lovely bit of electric blue ribbon down to go with the card itself. And now I'm just going to stick that down. And I really should have put the top on my glue, but never mind. I'm sure it'll be fine. That's that one. Give it a jolly good gluing down. There we go. Okay. And now I'm just going to pop that pretty much centrally. I'm just going to eyeball it. That looks pretty good. But I have used the Fabri-Tac, so it does make it easier to manoeuvre a little bit. And then this, it just says, Christmas is a time to remember all the blessings we hold dear and cherish deeply. And I'm just going to pop that in the middle there. And that's that one. I'm going to pop that in there. And that, there we go. So there we have it. So we've got a lovely little Christmas card there, just from the cut-offs that I had from the journal. And then if we open it up, we've got a lovely little centerpiece there with "Christmas is a time to remember all the blessings we hold dear and cherish deeply." And that will make a nice little Christmas card for somebody. So that's it for today. I just wanted to pop on and just do something very quick for you. I didn't want to make it a long one. I hope you like it. You can do lots and lots of things with all the bits and pieces that you have left over. So make sure you don't waste any of your stuff. And I'll look forward to seeing you all again on Saturday. Take care, everybody.